From the Zoomerplex in historic Liberty Village, The Zoomer, hosted by Marissa Lennox.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, jingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Nothing gets you in the holiday spirit quite like a little bit of Christmas music, right? Welcome to the Zoomer Holiday Special, everyone. I'm Marissa Lennox. That was Todd Pentney on the piano, J.U. on guitar, and Maya Kiltron on vocals. They'll be sticking around and performing throughout the show. But for now, sharing a meal is one of the best ways to bring people together, and tonight we are featuring chefs from different backgrounds, each offering their take on holiday dishes inspired by their own traditions. And we have videographer Maximilian Aoki, who's here to help us see what's coming up on the show. So take it away, Max.
Thanks, Marissa. We have three amazing chefs here, and they're each bringing a different flavor to the table. Let's start with Gabrielle, who's making Latkes and Rugelach. Gabrielle, I want to know, what's the secret to making a perfect latke?
Hi, Max. The secret to making a perfect latke, honestly, aside from love, is the crispy, crunchy, fried golden potatoes, but we're going to do something a little different today, and we're making leek latkes.
Next up, we're going to Marta, who's making a traditional Spanish paella. Marta, what makes the paella iconic?
I think paella is a culinary masterpiece that captured the soul and heart of Spain.
And last but most certainly not least is Chef Ken LeFebour, who'll be making a masala-rubbed salmon and some greens as well. Ken, masala and salmon, not something I usually see go together. What was the inspiration?
Well, I had the pleasure and the privilege of hanging out with my grandmother in India, and she would do a version of this dish. So this is a tribute to her and a celebration for the Christmas season.
Ken, that looks amazing. And Marissa, it sounds like we have quite the show coming up.
I think so, a little bit of a party, and what better way to kick off a party than with some cocktails. And so we have mixologist Nick Peach here, who's going to be whipping up something festive for us. What are we starting with?
Yeah, so I thought we would kick things off with a holiday-inspired whiskey sour. You a fan of whiskey sours? You like whiskey?
I like whiskey.
We're gonna do an original recipe from my program, Barebones Bartending, which uses a Canadian spiced whiskey and some fresh fig and pear in the recipe.
All right, let's do it.
I got two setups. We're gonna make them together.
I like that.
So we have a cocktail shaker ready to go. Bring that in front of you. And we're gonna add an egg white. So egg whites have been used in cocktails for about 150 years. It adds volume and viscosity and that like dessert-like quality on top. All right, so go ahead and separate your egg white from the shell. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. There we go. Yeah, just roll it back and forth between the shell and it should pull apart. Yes, yes, yes,
Do
yes,
I want
yes.
the white? It's
yes,
the white
you want the
I
white. That's it, that's perfect. Okay, toss all that rest of that in here. Amazing, thank you, okay. Napkins. That's the hardest part. The rest of it is incredibly easy. Now everything else is gonna go in the small half of your shaker. So keep it separate as long as possible. We don't want the alcohol and the citrus to break down the eggs.
Got it.
Everything goes in the small one. Okay, we're gonna start with a Canadian-made spiced whiskey. And you've got your measure. We're gonna add 1.5 ounces, filling this one up. There's a little line in there to note, to check. There you go, 1.5, perfect, pass that to you.
And I think the key is, at least for me, because I'm not a mixologist, the fewer the ingredients, the better. I find.
I couldn't agree more. I think when you start getting up to 7, 8, 9 ingredients.
It gets too complicated.
Messy, very messy. This is really a 3-ingredient cocktail. So the whiskey, and then we have some citrus, fresh lemon juice, and we're gonna use 3/4 ounce. Just below the top there for one. Yeah, it's okay if you spill a little bit. We're working at the bar, we're good. 3/4, okay. The last thing that you have to pour is just a little bit of sugar to balance out the citrus, 1/2 ounce of an organic cane sugar. But it sounds complicated. It's water and sugar mixed together.
It's just water and sugar.
Water and sugar, equal parts, and 1/2 ounce. And that's going in there. Perfect, okay, while you're doing that, we are going to share a fig. I'm gonna take a fig, cut it in half, just like that. Go ahead and grab half of your fig, toss that in your shaker.
Now, why fig and pear?
I just love these flavors. I think the fig adds a little bit of, weirdly, like a bit of weight to the cocktail. Like you can taste a little bit of the fig that makes it through your strainer. The pear adds flavor. Like you're gonna taste the pear and the vanilla and the cinnamon in the whiskey, and it all comes together so well.
I like the idea of adding real fruit to cocktails.
100%, yeah. Okay, half of that.
In?
Right inside, yeah, perfect. Okay, so, and I gotta grab mine, amazing. We're gonna do what's called a dry shake first, no ice. Okay, it's gonna sound kind of weird. If you've ever seen someone shake a cocktail, you expect the noise. There's no noise, so we're gonna add this together. The dry shake is for the egg white. Think about like whipping eggs at home to make a meringue.
Right.
That's what we're doing in our hands. You're gonna hang on nice and tight with both hands.
Okay.
And just shake it up. Mix it back and forth. There you go. We got a little.
Thank you on the keys.
All right, that's pretty good. We'll separate our shakers. Yeah, just pull it off. Excellent. No, very good.
I got it.
Okay, we have some ice. We're ready to go. We'll grab a little bit of ice here into our shaker tins. A little bit for you as well.
And now just remind me, why would we do this twice?
The second shake, what we're doing now, this is all about dilution. It's about making it cold. It's about mixing it together. Everything that you expect from a cocktail, right? Mostly we're making it cold. So one more time. Now this is really, we gotta really get a little aggressive here. And we're there. All right, go ahead, separate your shaker. Perfect.
Okay.
And,
got it.
yes, amazing. This is your strainer. Place that on top with the spring side down.
Yeah.
And go ahead and strain it into your cocktail glass. It should come out looking like that, like a milkshake. Look at how beautiful and delicious and wintry. Okay, that's okay. Wait, I can't let you go away with that one. Pour that one back in real quick.
Why does yours look like...
That's okay. I do this I do this for a living, so it's okay. Here we go. One more time. Okay, we nailed it. Okay, perfect. And you go ahead and strain that one in now. Perfect, amazing.
Can't stop laughing. All right. Oh, look
We
at
did
that. All right, let's give this a try.
Cheers, happy holidays.
Cheers, happy holidays. I do love the fig and the pear combo. Nick, thank you. We're gonna check in with you a little bit later, but first, we have Olivia Petrou, and she and I are gonna put together something very delicious that is guaranteed to wow your holiday guests after the break. Stay with us.
Better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Welcome back. There's nothing better than easy holiday entertaining, and a well-crafted charcuterie board is always a hit. Here to show us how to make a Greek-inspired version is Olivia Petrou from Olive and Fig. Thanks for being here. So it's funny because when I think about charcuterie boards, I normally think Italy or France. You're making a Greek-inspired one, so what does that involve?
So it involves many things. I have highlighted my grandfather's marinated olive recipe and some fig jam, hence olive and fig. So I'd like to include those two items, which are Greek, and some feta cheese as well, my favorite cheese.
Tell me about this recipe here.
So yes, ever since I was little, my grandfather marinated olives, and we would all sneak into the cool room to grab some from his secret stash.
But what's the recipe?
So it's olive oil, lemon, salt, pepper, oregano, and of course love. So I've started a bit with the foundational elements here. It's going to help you build your board as you go. So I am moving next on to the cheese. Of course, when you're building a charcuterie board, you're trying to cater to all of your guests. So try to include quite a bit of variety to ensure your guests enjoy.
So what's the selection here?
This is an aged cheddar, and this is how we like to cut it at Olive and Fig into little triangles.
That is the key with any charcuterie board, isn't it? It's making it look good.
Exactly. When you go to restaurants, you usually see like flat lay charcuterie. At Olive and Fig, we like to build with height, and you eat with your eyes first, so we're trying to make it beautiful for for everyone.
That's so true. I haven't heard that. You eat with your eyes first.
Exactly.
That makes sense. All right, and what's
exactly.
this cheese?
This is a manchego, Spanish manchego. It's also one of my favorites. I am a cheese lover.
Where do you get all your cheeses?
So we have a supplier that will remain a secret because competitors might be watching. So we have some manchego, and we've sliced that a little bit differently into larger triangles. Again, we're trying to create texture and variety to make the board interesting to you and your guests.
And feta is a great addition. I've never thought to add feta to a cheese board.
Yeah, it's like you said, Greek inspired. It's not standard on a charcuterie board. It's normally, harder cheeses or bries. So I've kind of replaced the brie today with some feta.
What a great idea.
And we're building up here with the feta because it's going to add more visual appeal to the board.
And it goes so well with the olives.
It does. It's a nice contrast as well. And of course, can't forget the bread. So when you're making and hosting at home, it's always nice to kind of add a homemade element. It kind of enhances your board and you can kind of talk about it. And you kind of want to spread it out across your board, which helps with the visual appeal.
Okay, and now the meat.
Now the meat, I have some peppered salami, prosciutto, and some spicy salami as well. So you kind of want to pepper this in and balance it out across the board.
And what's the reason for this selection?
They're my three favorites. And the peppered salami, as you can see, it has a bit of a peppered edge, and it just creates an extra beauty to the board as well. And you don't want to clump all your meat together. You want to find different spots around the board to build.
While we're finishing this off, let's check in with Max over at the prep table. How's it going over there, Max?
Well, Marissa, this prep table actually looks more like an alchemy lab. I get to be here with the alchemist himself, Ken. And Ken, I gotta ask you, what's happening here?
Well, we're just gonna slice up a few king oyster mushrooms, planning to saute them off while I make a little bit of potato crisps to top the masala-rubbed salmon.
Beautiful. Now, Ken, I got another question for you. There's a photo behind you.
Oh, yes.
Could you tell me about that? Pull it up.
Yeah, so this is a tribute. This is my grandmother, Nellie James. She was born in India, red hair, Irish, Scottish woman. We're called Anglo-Indians. We're like Heinz 57 mixed-race people because India got conquered so many times.
And was that an inspiration for
Yeah,
the dish here?
so when I went back for the first time in my life, I got a chance to hang out with her for about 4 months, cooking, eating, and she made this. I'd go to the market, buy kingfish, bring it home. She would masala rub it, she'd sear it, and we'd eat it.
Ken, this looks amazing. I know there's a very complicated paella going on right beside us, so Ken, I'm gonna squeeze by you if you don't mind, and ask Marta,
Hi.
how are we doing over here?
So the paella is almost ready. We have everything here, the chicken, the rabbit, green beans, the rice. It's a Spanish rice because it's the proper rice to make paella. And also the broth, which is infused with azafran from Spain as well. And now we just have to wait until the rice is done. And yeah, enjoy.
Well, this is looking amazing. Wow. Marissa, I gotta say, you have a lot to look forward to over there. I'm gonna throw it back to you.
I sure do, Max. Thank you. And guys, while that was going on, look at this board. Look how great it looks. And of course, no board is complete without a little bit of color. So we're adding just a couple of berries, some figs to finish it off, and this looks phenomenal. Up next, we're gonna whip up that Indian-style dish that you just heard about. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're continuing our holiday culinary journey with the dish that brings the vibrant flavors of India to the table. Chef Ken LeFebour is here, and he's putting a modern twist on his grandmother's masala-rubbed Atlantic salmon over Asian greens. Chef, this all looks so fantastic, and I'll admit this amount of ingredients I find a little bit intimidating, but I know you've put me to work in the break, so the first thing I have to do is probably take these mushrooms off. Is that right?
Exactly, yes. So just take them off, drain a little bit of oil, and then just pop them right to the, just make a beautiful little pile any way you'd like.
All right, so tell me what we're doing here.
So we're sauteing some king oyster mushrooms as part of the warm salad. We're gonna in the same oil that is happening, I'm gonna make some potato crisps, and I'm using my mandolin here. I'm going to cut on an angle, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. So out of this little pretty instrument here, you get these beautiful little crispy wafer things. These are going in. And now we're just gonna stir that around, okay? Give them a minute, and we're gonna make them crisp. Ooh. To the mushrooms, season everything. So a little bit of sea salt, okay? Coarse sea salt is my preference. This pan here, we're gonna do masala-rubbed Atlantic salmon.
Tell me about this amount of spice that you're covering the salmon in.
Yeah, so garam masala, it's gonna take a lot of spice. It looks like a lot of spice, but what I'm doing is it will dissipate because of the thickness of the salmon. It's not a spicy spice.
What are you using there?
So I'm using garam masala, cumin and coriander and sea salt.
Is there a trick to finding the right balance?
So this, in regards to the trick to finding the right balance, what I usually tell people is they need to try it, and I know that the fact that the spices are gonna cook out, it's gonna reduce the amount of flavor on the spice and give it a little nuttiness.
Okay.
So those look beautiful.
All
I'm
right.
getting my oil extremely hot. I put cumin, coriander, a little bit of garlic, and some olive oil on my salmon. So my pan's nice and hot. So my masala salmon is going in.
It smells fantastic, Ken.
Yeah, we'll let it simmer for a second. So while this is cooking, while that is cooking, I would like to make the warm salad. So what I'm going to do is just take a variety of herbs and greens.
What are the types of herbs and greens
so
you
I
have
have
there?
Chinese. I have a Chinese lettuce, Chinese spinach here, which I am going to just cut gently on an angle. Usually this is used for stir fries, but what I'm going to do is just use it for greens because I do love the flavor of it raw. Oh, those look beautiful.
They do,
so
don't they?
Pull one out, please, Matt.
Look what a great chef I am.
Yeah, they're amazing. Okay, so that's great. So let's put them just to the side here and drain a bit of oil, and we'll hit them with some sea salt.
They're like little chips.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So
The
couple of
key
that.
to any good meal is using whole foods, isn't it?
Yes, whole,
Making it
real
yourself.
food. Real food.
While you continue to make this salad,
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to check in with Max over at the prep table to tell us what's happening over there. Go ahead, Max.
Marissa, it looks amazing over here and it smells amazing over here. Marta, I want to know, how are we doing on this paella?
It's almost done. Yes, we have to let it rest at least 5 minutes, and then it's ready to eat.
So this is something that if you're cooking family dinner or something like that, you just smell
Family
the entire
lunch,
house
not
up with
dinner.
it.
We don't
Lunch.
eat. Yes, we don't eat paella for dinner in Spain, but yeah.
Marta, it looks fantastic,
Thank you.
and I'm very excited for this one. Marissa, back to you.
Thanks, Max. It's always great to see what's happening behind the scenes for these things. All right, Chef Ken, where are we at with this dish?
So we're gonna knock the heat off, and you put one over here. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna do a little mango vinaigrette. I'm putting homemade mango chutney in a vinegar.
Oh, I
gonna
can
stir
smell
it.
that. Wow, that smells
I'm
phenomenal.
gonna drop this on the greens, which is a mixture of Thai basil.
Should I add the other piece?
Yes, please. And just cross it slightly. Spectacular.
It's all about the presentation.
Yep. Now, this is a great way to do lemon. So if you grab this and just twist the fork into the lime and as much as you can on top of there. So that's it. Masala-rubbed Atlantic salmon with fresh lime over some Asian greens with some fresh herbs in it, ladies and gentlemen.
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna try it also.
I love salmon, and this is Excellent.
It's lovely, not too spicy at all, is it?
Chef Ken, thank you. Phenomenal. All right, we're gonna head to the drink station now to check in with Nick Peach about what our next drink involves.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
We are gonna, cocktail number 2 this is a classic. It's one I make every year around this time. An espresso martini. You've had one before?
I love espresso martinis.
So we're gonna start with that spirit. Okay, so vodka to begin. 1 ounce of vodka right to the very, very top of your measure. And I'm gonna toss that into my my cocktail shaker. Okay, then espresso. It's in the name. You have to use espresso, freshly poured espresso for an espresso martini. And the reason is, and a machine like that is under a ton of pressure. It extracts natural fats and oils that are found in coffee beans.
So you can't try and substitute it with like a drip coffee machine.
I would not recommend it. You're gonna end up having a bad time. It's gonna look like a black coffee when you pour it. This is gonna look like a milkshake when we pour it out. So 3/4 of an ounce of our fresh espresso. Toss it in. Okay, a little bit less of our coffee liqueur. 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur. There you go. So we're doing 1, 3/4, half.
So we're getting smaller in portion size.
As we go, exactly.
Okay.
And we get right down to the sugar and just 1/4, a splash. Okay, we don't want this to be too sweet.
Is the sugar necessary?
It isn't, absolutely not, because your coffee
Because I find
liqueur.
Kahlua to be a little bit sweet.
It's very sweet, absolutely. So if you want to skip that altogether, that's what I was talking about, right? You've got your way, and I mean, if my dad was making this, I think it would just be the vodka. So, you know,
That's called a martini.
That's a martini, right? Sorry, Dad. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add some ice. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shake this one up for you. Now, there's no egg white like our last cocktail, but we're gonna get the oil and the fat. It's gonna replace the egg white in this pour. It's
And
gonna
make it a little frothy?
Oh my God, you tell me. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna shake this one up. Thank you for the band.
One thing I've come to learn from making cocktails with you is that the shake is quite important.
Yes, 100%. So let's take a look, see what this looks like. Black coffee? No, it looks like a milkshake. Look at that come out. It's amazing. And we're gonna go right up to the top. Now we'll give it 10 seconds to settle, okay, so that foam can stiffen on top there because it needs to support our garnish.
The most important part of this drink.
The most important part, coffee
about
beans.
it.
Okay, well, I've been working as a bartender for my entire adult life, and there is a bit of a ritual when it comes to an espresso martini. The garnish is important. You've had one, coffee beans, right? We're gonna put 3 beans out there, and it's a blessing from a bartender to a guest. We're gonna do 1 bean to represent, wish you, eternal health, eternal wealth, and eternal happiness.
All right, I wish you'd made one for yourself.
This is for you, it's all you. I'm gonna be here, you can come back, I'll make you another one.
This is very
Is it good?
It's very good.
Amazing.
Nick, thank you. Stay with us when we come back. We're bringing some Spanish flavor to your holiday table. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. Fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Welcome back. We've already enjoyed some amazing dishes, and now it's time to bring a taste of Spain to the table. Chef Marta Martinez from Santa Marta Bar y Tapas is here with that paella and traditional Spanish tapas, which will show you how to prepare. Let's start with the paella just quickly because is chicken rabbit and green beans traditional for paella?
Yes.
It is.
It's the traditional one. Yeah.
Okay, and this is what you would typically serve around the holidays?
Yes, or the traditional one of the seafood, but paella, you can eat paella during the holidays with your family and friends.
Why don't I add some shrimp to this? We'll
Add
get
a
that
couple
going.
of them, yeah. And then to the garlic shrimp, we always add guindilla cayenne, but here we're gonna use chili flakes to spice it a little bit.
You typically would use cayenne?
Yes.
Why
But
is
here in Toronto, it's hard to find the cayenne.
Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's pretty good.
And a little bit of chili flakes. I think that's
Is that
perfect.
good?
Yes. And a little bit of salt.
I have a tendency to overdo it on the chili flakes because I love.
You like spicy?
I like spice.
Yeah,
I like
me
kick.
too. Yeah.
Okay, here's some salt.
Perfect. It smells delicious.
You can smell it.
Yes.
Can everyone in our audience smell the garlic and olive oil?
Smells
so
super
good. Okay, so while that's cooking, what's the secret, by the way, to making sure that you cook the perfect shrimp?
You have to make the garlic a little bit before the shrimp, and then the salt is a really important thing.
The salt, and
Yes.
and you don't keep it on for very long. Shrimp cook fast.
Yes, super fast. 4 or 5 minutes, yeah.
And you're done.
And,
okay.
yeah, should
see,
be
you
enough.
can already see as I flip them over,
Yes.
they're pretty well cooked.
You don't want to overcook the shrimp. Yeah.
Got it.
And also we have here olives.
Some olives.
They are marinated.
Have you marinated them yourself?
Yes.
And how did you do
recipe.
it? Okay, let me give it a try.
Yes, it's a secret recipe. A family recipe as well.
Really?
Yes.
Who in your family created it?
Oh, my father, my grandmother, yeah.
Okay.
They're a little spicy,
A little bit.
which I like.
Okay. But not too spicy, just a little bit.
I won't attempt to start trying to figure out what the ingredients are because it's just not my forte. But that's very good.
There is garlic, paprika.
Oh, now you're telling me.
No, just a little bit, not the whole recipe. Yes.
Can you talk to me a little bit about, because when I think about Spain, I think about paella. So
Yes.
what is it about this dish that makes it so traditional?
I think it's because everyone likes to eat paella on a Sunday with your family. Spanish people, we love to gather all together around a table with tapas, shareable food, and the paellas can feed a lot of people. If you make a big paella, yeah.
It's true, it feels very much like a dish
Yes.
that you want to share with
Yes.
people. So I can understand that. Okay, well, while these are cooking, and I'll give
This
them
is almost done.
I'll give
but
them
yeah.
a taste in just a moment. Let's check in with Max over at the prep station. Go ahead, Max.
Marissa, the party is very much still going strong here at the prep table. Gabrielle, how are these latkes coming along?
We're looking really good, Max. I've got my fresh herbs here mixed with a little chickpea flour to make this gluten-free. I'm gonna get my leeks blanching so that they can break down, so that ultimately we don't have to cook the latkes for too long. I'm gonna add some eggs soon to act as a kind of binding agent and give it that classic latke texture.
Gabrielle, this looks amazing.
Thank you.
And Marissa, I hope you're still hungry over there. Back to you.
Thanks, Max. Well, speaking of being hungry, this might be a little bit hot, but I've got to give it a try.
It's gonna be hot. So spicy enough for you?
It's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect, Marta, thank you. We're gonna take a quick break. When we return, we'll get to some of those delicious Hanukkah classics. They're coming up next. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're continuing our holiday celebration with some classic Israeli dishes for Hanukkah. Gabrielle Samek from Romi's is here to show us how to make savory leek latkes, followed by some sweet rugelach. For dessert, did I get the name right?
You nailed it.
Okay, let's start with the latkes.
So we're gonna do 1 spoonful of the batter. In this batter, I've got leeks, I've got fresh herbs, those soft, tender herbs, parsley and cilantro. You can use the whole thing. We've got salt, pepper, and a little bit of cumin to give it a little bit of a Middle Eastern kick.
And you want to flatten it a little bit.
We want to
Here.
flatten it just a little bit. So nice rounded spoonful, give it a little flat. If you want to make this extra fancy, you can, perfect. You can use a round, like a biscuit cutter, something metal that you can put right in the pan and make them perfectly round.
Okay.
And that will give you a really beautiful latke. You want to go lower temperature, a little bit slower, best to have them golden and crispy, and nobody wants a burnt latke for the holidays.
Or a broken latke.
That's okay. The little crispy bits, honestly, they're the best part.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay, how does this one look?
This one looks great. We're just gonna give that a little shake, make sure they're not sticking to the pan.
I feel like
I think you're ready to go.
Probably good to flip now, right?
Perfect, yeah. So just flip away from you. Perfect.
There we go.
Okay, you wanna do the other two now?
Sure.
All right, go for it.
Okay, while these are cooking, tell me about the dessert.
So
this is very traditional, is it
one
not?
of our best sellers at Romi's is our Nutella Rugelach. Rugelach is a classic Jewish dessert. You can do all sorts of fillings. The dough is traditionally made with cream cheese, and it's a little bit denser than what we produce at Romi's. So we use puff pastry instead of this cream cheese dough because, well, you'll see for yourself, it's like nothing else.
Okay.
So I've got my puff pastry here ready to go. I've got literally just a jar of Nutella. You do not need anything else for these. We are going to just dollop on as much Nutella as you want. As much as you want. Go for it.
Well, all right.
Now, bearing in mind
Not too
that
much.
the more you put, the longer these are going to have to bake to get to that gooey center.
Is that an
We're
appropriate
going to start
amount?
with that, and then we're going to go ×2 or ×3 even.
Okay.
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
Here we go.
This is basically puff pastry held together with Nutella.
I love Nutella.
And let's do just a little bit more.
Okay, here we go.
Perfect. Amazing.
Have you ever had Nutella out of a jar?
I was doing that last night.
I have too.
So what we'll do, instead of using a spoon for this, I brought you an offset spatula and I brought a scraper. This is what we use at Romi's to distribute the Nutella evenly. So pick whichever one you want and go crazy.
I feel like I might be more familiar with this style of.
So you're gonna spread from the center to the corners. Perfect. Yeah, just like that.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah, and we want to go all the way to the edges.
Do you want it to be fairly thin?
We want it to be even, so it's going to be pretty thick because this is a lot of Nutella.
You told me to add this much.
This looks amazing. Great. So we'll just cover up this little spot at the top here. Amazing.
All right.
We'll put that to the side.
I'm going to let you roll.
So
while I remove this latke here.
The easiest way to do this is with a paring knife. I'm gonna do just one cut straight down the middle. Now, it's better to do this with puff pastry that is cold from the fridge or freezer. Makes it a lot easier to roll. So I'm gonna make even cuts here and all the way down. And we'll go on a diagonal from the top here. And since we're sticking, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way. So we're gonna just roll that up. We're gonna put it on our baking sheet. We're gonna take the second one here and roll that up as well. And you're gonna egg wash them before they go in. And then when they come out, you wanna brush them with simple syrup straight from the oven.
What should I try first?
All right, so for your latkes, I say just go with both right off the bat.
Both?
Absolutely. A dollop of Greek yogurt, a dollop of applesauce. Eat them together. It is the best way to do it.
Wow. That tastes so good.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my pleasure.
I have to give this a try too, because why not? I'm starting to think that people don't typically eat this with a fork and knife.
You'd be surprised at what desserts people will eat with a fork and knife.
Oh, wow. Delicious. All right. We're going to check in with Max over at the drink table. Max, what's going on over there?
Marissa, I am here with Nick, who is going to prepare another special holiday cocktail.
Yeah, okay, Max, this is an easy one. We're gonna make an eggnog winter Christmas recipe. We're not reinventing the wheel here. There's not a ton of steps. We're gonna add our spirit, okay, some more of that spiced whiskey, and some eggnog, okay? I've got ice in our glasses already. I jazzed them up a little bit. I used some copper mule mugs. So let me go ahead and put 1 ounce of our spirit in each of these. There we go, fill it up.
Looks good.
Perfect, and there we go. Okay, and then look, some eggnog right out of the fridge. Open that up, and we don't need to measure this. We'll just top it up. I'm making one for you, one for Marissa. She said she's never tried eggnog before.
That was a
Can you
very
believe
exciting
that?
day then.
Yes, okay, so these are pretty much ready to go, but I can't help myself because I have to do everything a little bit over the top. So we give them a good stir. Now, you could serve this with some whipped cream just out of a canister from the grocery store. I made some for you. So we've got some homemade whipped cream. It was easy, okay? So it's heavy cream and a little bit of icing sugar. I put, this is infused with butterscotch liqueur because, yeah, I mean, right? Amazing, perfect. So we're gonna give it a little shake. We're gonna top it up with our alcohol-infused butterscotch liqueur whipped cream.
Oh, that looks good.
Okay, and a little bit of grated cinnamon over top because, yeah, I gotta show off. Okay, perfect.
So you know what? These are looking really good. Yeah. Marissa, do you want to come over here and try one with me?
Please.
I do.
Okay, your first time. I'm excited for you.
I've admittedly never had eggnog before.
Cheers. Amazing.
All right,
Cheers.
Marissa, cheers.
Thank you. I feel like I'm going to get whipped cream on my nose. Mmm. Yum. And it tastes
really good.
almost like a dessert.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, it's excellent. Nick, thank you. All right. Well, stay with us. There are some more holiday classics coming up after the break. Don't go away.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
Welcome back. Before we wrap up the show, I want to thank our chefs and our mixologist, Nick, for these incredible dishes and cocktails. Nick's prepared one last cocktail for us. So tell us a little bit about what we're drinking here.
So the final recipe is a dessert. It's for after dinner, after all this amazing food. We're gonna have a riff on an old-fashioned, but it's a little bit, well, quite different. We've started with a peanut butter-infused bourbon, and then we've added to that some chocolate bitters, and we're using a vanilla liqueur. So peanut butter, chocolate, and vanilla. I mean, I don't even have a name for this one if anybody wants to throw something out there. While you're thinking about that, I'm gonna prepare the garnish, which is a toasted marshmallow. And we'll pass them out and we'll say cheers one more time. Thank you for having me. Yeah, okay, so there we go. A little bit of this guy. There we go.
Wow.
That's quite aggressive. Yeah, I'll pull that back a little bit.
I love a toasted marshmallow, though.
100%. Amazing. All right, well, call that a win. Okay, here we go. So you can take one, yeah, just
Take
from the
one?
sides.
What
for
should I
sure.
do with it? Pop it in
just,
the drink?
I mean, you toss it on top. You can eat it and have a sip. I mean, whatever. Yeah, perfect. Anyone's missing one? One for you over here. Okay,
I may eat it and have a sip.
There we go. Yeah, have a bite and then take a sip of the cocktail. The drink should be, it's spirit forward, but also definitely a little sweet.
This is the perfect way to cap off this night. Well, you've heard them all through the show, and now to perform one last time, here's Todd Petney, JU, and Maya Kiltron.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year, all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year, all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon, we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, let's go. Let's get the show. We're riding in a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, it's grand. Just holding your hand. We're gliding along with the song of a wintry fairyland. Our cheeks are nice and rosy and oh so cozy are we. We're snuggled up together like two birds of a feather are we. Let's take the road before us and sing a chorus or two. Come on, it's lovely weather for us to ride together with you. Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show. We're riding in a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, it's grand. Just holding your hand. We're gliding along with the song of a wintry fairyland. Our cheeks are nice and rosy and oh so cozy are we. We're snuggled up together like two birds of a feather are we. Let's take the road before us and sing a chorus or two. Come on, it's lovely weather for us to ride together with. Lovely weather for us to ride together with. Lovely weather for us to ride together with you.
And that is it for us this evening. A big thank you to our musicians, to our chefs and our mixologists, and of course, to all of you in studio and at home for joining us. To get in touch, you can send us an email at comments@thezoomer.com. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah. For now, it's time to zoom out.